Hey, what's up, everybody? I got a 2006 BMW 750 Li. It's a V8 motor. They only make one motor. Doesn't come with any kind of options. But this is what you got right here. And AC compressor went out on it, so don't have an AC. This guy got the compressor from a salvage yard, which I'm not putting salvage parts on my vehicle. I don't know. Depends on what it is, I guess. But anyway, they don't have any. I didn't see anybody else had a YouTube video on this. And then all data, according to all data, it takes 2.5 hours to do. But they don't have a service procedure in all data. So thanks a lot, all data. So I'm gonna make a video on it. This is my first time doing one on this vehicle right here. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so this is the used compressor, or the junkyard one, that's going in. So as you can see, there's only 30 bolts holding it in. 1, 2, and 3. Then you're gonna have actually some hex bolts. There's one right here, and then your electrical connector plugs in right there. It's just like a little 2-prong. Alright, and then I see there's like 2 holes here, but anyway, so first of all, in order to do this, you're gonna have air intake here. Let me show you how this is set up. Alright, so unplug this right here. You're gonna unscrew the screw right here, take that off. These air filters, there's just a clip here, a clip here. Same thing on this side, clip here, and there's actually a clip missing on this one right here. Anyways, once you pop that stuff off, all of this will come out. There's still an electrical connector I didn't disconnect right here. There's some kind of wire, yeah, whatever, right there. Oh, I see a breather too. This right here was just held in by 2 screws right here. Take those out. This will come out, and then you're going to be able to see, if you look down here, right there. Alright, there's your compressor, there's your AC compressor. There's a clutch right there, and then there's a hex bolt there, and there's your other hex bolt. See that hex bolt right there? So that's one of those are your 2 lines going into the compressor. And then you can't see your electrical connector back there, but so when I'm doing this, the belt's already off. By the way, you can cut that belt off, or you can turn the crank. If you're gonna be turning on the crank, then you've got a tensioner right here on this bottom right here, and it's got a Torx bolt in it. Just going ahead and take this front belt off. No, actually, I'm sorry. Your tensioner is actually right there. Yeah, there's your tensioner right there. And there's like a little 6, Torx bolt, inverted Torx that you stick in there. No, it's actually a Torx bolt that you stick in there, a 6-sided bolt. There's 3 bolts holding it in. There's a bracket that's gonna be on the front. So I'm gonna come in here and just go ahead and take out those AC lines and relieve the AC pressure. And then, like I said, you got those 3 bolts which I took out. You can get this top one from the top, but if you come down right here, what I did down here was I went ahead and took off these 13mm bolts that were holding in the sway bar on both sides. So you're going to be looking at it like this. There's a 13mm bolt that goes right here on these. See that? Right there and right here. That's where they're located. And also there's a 10mm bolt, which is there's a 10mm bolt right here that goes right here on the sway bar bracket. I went ahead and took that out. Right here is bolt on the front, and you're gonna have this bracket right here is gonna be on this bottom bolt, and then there's a top bolt that goes. Let's see if I can get you a good shot. Okay, so there's your top bolt up there. Let's see if I can get you a shot of that. So the top bolt's gonna be right there. I don't know if you can see that. Right there. Anyway, and then your back bolt, which is a pain in the fucking ass to get off. That back bolt, well, you know where it is on the AC compressor, but you can come right here and see it right here, I guess. Let's see. Alright, let's see if I can get you a shot. It's, that's the reason why I took this damn sway bar out the way. But if you come, fuck, right here, try to shot. Alright, so I'm looking right here. Gotta see it with the camera though. Right there. Alright, that's it right there. Zoom you in. Right there. That's it right there. So there's just a nut on there, which is a 13mm. But in order to get that nut, so that's your 3. You know what I'm saying? That's your 3 bolts. So boom, right there. Up there, right there, and then your third one back there. Alright, so that's your 3 bolts holding it in. But that back one is a pain in the ass. You're gonna need a short, or like I use the 1/4 inch drive, because they're, you know, it's a shorter, more shallow socket. But this is a 1/4 inch drive wrench with a low profile head. Or you can use a swivel head to get it out. But you're gonna need something with real low clearance, and then that's why I took this loose just for that fucking back bolt. And he needs a damn control arm bushing bad right there. That fucking bushing right there is shot. Yeah, he needs a new control arm bushing. I'm gonna send him a picture of that. He needs to replace the control arm actually. But anyways, so those are your 3 bolts, and there's your 2 lines. And then you can get that plug in once you disconnect all that stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and take those hex bolts out, right? Those hex bolts, which are holding in your AC lines right there. Let's see if I can get you a shot right there. Yeah. So there's your hex bolts right there that are holding your AC lines. Oh, it's hard to get up. What the camera in. There it is right there. So those guys right there, him and him, I'm gonna go ahead and take those off, and then see if I can get this thing out of here. So that's a 6mm with a hex on it, the extended thing, or you can use 7/32. So either a 7/32 or a 6mm, and then you're gonna stick your tool. You gotta have a long head one. Well, at least to get this one out right here, you're gonna have to have a long head one. Once this one's out, you can pull that line out and get that other one out of there from the side. Okay, so this is the old one right here, of course, and that's the new one. So actually the electrical connector is a little bit further up on the vehicle. It's actually located right here. So all you got to do is just press down on that tab right there, and it'll come off. But Just a little button right there you push down on, and it's gonna be right up here on the top side. Easy to get to right there. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna transfer this right here. You just pull it off on both of the sides. It'll slip right out, and I'm gonna put that on the one that's going on. Also, personally, oh yeah, I took out the wrong bolt. There was a bolt on the bottom. That's the one I took out. It's actually there's another bolt right next to it, which is this one. So you might get them confused because they're right next to each other. So, man, I had a real fucking hard time. Alright, don't use the 7/32 because you might strip that out, which is kind of like what I did. And the 6mm, you use a fucking 6mm because you'll probably strip it out like I did. But it was just in there really fucking bad, really fucking tight. So I ended up using an air hammer, an air chisel, and just knocking it backwards until it fucking came out. It's a pain in the ass. But anyways, also I think you're gonna have to move that sway bar end link out of the way, that sway bar out of the way. Like I showed you, take those 4 bolts off to get the sway bar out of the way, because otherwise I don't know if you're gonna have enough clearance to get it out, but it'll drop right out of the front. So basically, once you take it out, it's gonna come out right here. But I got, you know, just move that bracket out of the way, it'll come out right here. And then with the sway bar out of the way, you got plenty of room. Alright, so I guess installation is going to be the reverse of removal, so let's see how that goes. I'm going to have to find another bolt for that one that got the head stripped off on it. So installing it was way easier than it coming out. Let's see. Alright, so there are my 2 lines right there. As you can see, I replaced both of those hex bolts with those are 12mm, but yeah, I don't like them hex bolts at all. Once you strip those, they're just a pain in the ass. You're gonna have to hit them with a chisel, or you can't get vice grips in there, not on that shit, you know. And then yeah, you can't get vice grips in there. You're gonna have to hit it, you know, with a long fucking chisel. I got a long ass chisel bit on an air hammer, a super long air chisel bit that I use to get that one off. And there's your electrical connection right there. Just got to transfer that electrical line right there to the new compressor. And just on the bottom part, you're gonna have to, when taking it out and putting it in, the bolt on the very back. So here's your one bolt on the bottom, here's your bracket, and then you got another bolt on the top, right up there. Well, the bolt in the very back, you're gonna have to install that first before you slide the compressor in. You need to go ahead and put that back bolt in. And also, same thing, once you loosen it back there, you're gonna have to pull the AC compressor out with that back bolt still actually in the compressor itself, because you don't have any clearance just to like pull that bolt out. Another thing is, okay, so now I gotta get that drive belt snapped, because I guess this compressor locked up and it started rattling or whatever. So the guy said the belt just like fucking snapped. So now I'm gonna have to remove the front main belt, which has the alternator and everything. So that rides, you got a T60 Torx bit. This is a T60. I got this on a 1/2 inch drive. But so your T60, you're gonna use it counterclockwise. It's gonna go in right here. I don't know if it's hard to see down in there, but there is a, let me show you where it goes. Right there. So that's your tensioner. It's right. So there's your crank, water pump, tensioner, The actual hole for it is right there. It's kind of hard to see, but that's where your T60 goes into, right there. So I'm gonna just like rotate this counterclockwise. No, rotate it clockwise, I see. So and all I'm gonna do is just take the belt off the crank. So like that right there. You see it gives me a little slack. So I'm gonna do this with just using, over here for a second. Pull this off right here. So now I'm gonna pull it off the crank right there. Alright, so this other belt that goes on there, so now I got my belt off. Alright, so the other belt that goes on there, you're gonna have to rotate the crank. So first you put this belt around the crankshaft, and then you're gonna have to rotate the crankshaft while trying to slip it on the compressor at the same time. You're just gonna have to try to ride it on there. They do have a fucking adapter tool, a tool that holds it on there, but that tool was like, the cheapest one I saw was like $30, and I'm probably never gonna ever use that tool again, except this one time. I don't know. Most of these you can just do it just by rotating the crank and slipping it on there. It's gonna be a pain in the ass, but we're gonna do it. I think that's I'll tell you what bolt size that harmonic balancer bolt is. Yeah, but anyways, you just rotate the crankshaft, and I'm gonna do all, I guess I'll maybe I can do that from the bottom. I'm gonna try to do it from the bottom. Alright, it might be easier from the top actually, now that I'm looking at it. Oh well. Let me tell you what, man. So if you don't have that damn tool to put the belt on for the AC compressor, I think I seen a cheap one for like $30. Get the fucking tool. It's worth it, because putting that fucking belt on is a pain in the fucking ass. But anyway, once you got your AC belt on, then you know, just use your tensioner, put that belt on, and all you do is just put this, slide this back in here. You got your two Phillips heads right here. Bolt those down. And then of course, when you're taking this off in the first place, I forgot to mention that there's 4 bolts right there holding that in. Oh yeah, and also when you're doing the belt down here, this line right here is going into your bracket up there. Take this line out. Right here is a 10mm bolt holding it in to right there. So take that 10mm bolt out and get that line out of the way. When you're trying to do the belt, it'll help it out. If you know you're gonna have somebody on the bottom and somebody on the top. But anyway, that's basically how you do the AC compressor. And then when you charge it up, your low side pressure line, your recharge port is right here. So that's your low side. But anyway, that's it right there. So that's a 06 BMW 750 Li AC compressor installation. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and like the video. Thank you. Peace.